You got transported into a cultivation world and became the heir of an immortal emperor clan. Your dad is the reigning heavenly emperor, your grandpa is a true immortal, and even the household steward is a saint-level cultivator. Born into a family this absurdly powerful, you could have just coasted through life, but then you awakened the multiverse worker system. The system told you to head into another world and put an end to the dark chaos. Come on, do you know who I am? So instead you handed the coordinates of that world straight over to your family. Your heavenly emperor father personally led an army, crushed that foreign world with ease, and suppressed the dark sovereigns. The chaos was over. The moment the system tried to settle rewards, you looked at it and said, if you've got connections and don't use them, you're an idiot. At that moment, inside the Gu family's main hall, you took a deep breath and said loudly, Father, I have huge news to report. That got your dad interested? Let's hear it. Father, just now, while I was meditating in the palace, my soul trembled, and in that vague moment, I sensed a strange new world. It was half true and half made up, but no one could really question it. The moment he heard a strange new world, your father's expression changed. As the heavenly emperor, he knew exactly how serious that was. Yuaner, this is no small matter. Are you sure it wasn't an illusion? At first I thought it was too, but the connection was incredibly clear. I could even vaguely sense that world's coordinates. And some of its basic conditions. Talk. Your father's breathing quickened. From what I sensed, that world is incredibly rich in resources and its spiritual energy is extremely dense. You threw out a huge piece of bait first. Sure enough, your father's eyes lit up even more. But then your tone suddenly turned serious. That world seems to be in the middle of a catastrophe. Powerful beings are slaughtering living creatures, and the whole world is drowning in resentment. Even the world's source is starting to collapse. After hearing that, your father fell silent. A resource-rich world, a world already in the middle of internal chaos, and a world with confirmed coordinates. Put those three things together, and it meant one thing. A fortune big enough to change the Gu family forever, the kind of opportunity no one would ever see twice. Your father shot to his feet. In one step, he was right in front of you. He placed a hand on your shoulder, and a vast divine sense instantly poured into your body. Your heart tightened, but on the surface, you stayed calm. A moment later, your father pulled his hand back. He had clearly sensed it. Deep within your soul, there really was an aura from another world, full of deathly stillness and violent destruction. It perfectly matched everything you described. It was real. Your father finally confirmed it. He looked at you, his eyes filled with shock, joy, and total disbelief. He already thought he'd fathered a once-in-a-generation genius, but this son had brought him something far beyond imagination. Ha 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 ha! Your father could no longer contain himself. He threw his head back and laughed, and the terrifying aura of a heavenly emperor surged into the sky, stirring the winds above. Good, 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 he said it 3 times in a row, slapping your shoulder hard. My son, you make me proud. You are the Gu family's true prodigy. Your shoulder hurt from the patting, but your face was all smiles. Your father paced back and forth excitedly, his eyes growing brighter and brighter. No, this is too big. This is way beyond something I can decide alone. He suddenly stopped, a fierce resolve flashing in his eyes. Yuaner, you did great. Guards! At his command, 2 guards outside the hall flashed inside and dropped to one knee. Take my heavenly emperor token and head to the family forbidden grounds. Awaken the ancestor! The 2 quasi-saint guards trembled violently, shock written all over their faces. The ancestor was the Gu family's true stabilizing pillar, a supreme existence who had already stepped into the realm of a true immortal. Unless the family was facing extinction, no one would dare disturb his slumber. And yet today, the family head was ordering his awakening. The 2 guards didn't dare think further and accepted the heavenly emperor token with trembling hands. They turned into streaks of light and rushed toward the forbidden grounds at full speed. You stood there, heart pounding. No way, we're going this far? All you wanted was for your family to help deal with one little problem, and instead, your dad pulled out the strategic nuke, a true immortal. Just one drop of his origin essence could crush the ages. One strand of his hair could sever the sun, moon, and stars. And because of a few words from you, an existence like that was about to wake up from his slumber. This was insane, seriously insane. Yuaner, come here. Your father walked up to the main seat in the great hall, sat down, waved you over, and pointed to the seat beside him. It was the only seat below the family head's throne, a position that represented being second only to him. You didn't hesitate. You sat down calmly. Yuaner. Your father looked at you, full of emotion. I always thought your greatest talent was cultivation. But now I see I was wrong. Your greatest gift is your fortune, your heaven's blessing upon the Gu family. As the current heavenly emperor, a figure whose power shook the ages, he didn't hold back with his praise. You felt pretty great inside, but outwardly, you stayed humble. Father, you flatter me. This is all thanks to the Gu family's prosperous destiny and the blessings of our ancestors. That answer made your father even more pleased. Just as the father and son were quietly talking and planning how to divide up this other world, the entire Gu ancestral land suddenly shook violently. A vast and indescribably terrifying aura burst into the sky from the direction of the forbidden grounds. It felt ancient, like it had crossed endless ages. In an instant, it covered the entire immortal domain. The heavens wailed. Even the laws of reality retreated. Across the whole immortal domain, every expert in seclusion snapped their eyes open at the same time and looked toward the Gu family. Their faces were full of fear. That's a true immortal's aura! Dear God, that monster from the Gu family has awakened! Inside the supreme hall, your father shot up to his feet, his eyes blazing like never before. Then he turned to you. His face was full of uncontrollable excitement. Yuaner, let's go. Come with me to pay respects to your ancestor grandfather. You followed your father as both of you turned into streaks of divine light and sped toward the forbidden grounds. Soon, the two of you arrived outside the area. It was an ancient mountain range covered in primal chaos mist, and deep within it you could vaguely make out a massive ancient tomb. Your father took a deep breath, straightened his robe, and bowed deeply toward the tomb. Gulintian, together with my son Gu Yuan, has come with urgent matters to report. Forgive us for disturbing your cultivation, ancestor. You quickly followed his lead and bowed respectfully as well. Descendant Gu Yuan greets the ancestor. At that moment, an old, hoarse voice slowly echoed from deep within the tomb. The voice wasn't loud, but it rang clearly in everyone's soul. Lintian? Yuanir! What matter has disturbed my seclusion? With divine sense amplifying his words, your father spoke clearly into the tomb. The family is not facing disaster. Rather, the Gu family has encountered a heaven-sent opportunity. The tomb fell silent for a moment. A heaven-sent opportunity? The old voice sounded again, this time with a trace of curiosity. You may enter. As those words fell, the chaos mist in front of the forbidden grounds automatically parted. A path opened straight to the tomb's gate. You followed behind your father and carefully stepped onto the path. Soon, the two of you reached the gate of the tomb. The giant doors slowly opened, and what lay behind them wasn't some dark burial chamber. Instead, it was a vast, starry sky. At the center of it floated an ancient bronze coffin, with its lid already half open. Your father led you to a spot about 100 yards in front of the coffin, then bowed deeply again. Descendant Gulintian greets the ancestor. Descendant Gu Yuan greets the ancestor. Enough, there are no outsiders here. You may rise. The old voice sounded once more. Only then did you finally see the figure inside the coffin clearly. He was a gaunt old man in a gray robe, with sparse white hair and a face full of wrinkles. The old man's gaze first landed on your father, then shifted to you. He let out a soft sound of surprise. This little one has something on him.